Yo, Kpaceguy here. Hey, so it's time to take your home theater to the next level. You like your home theater, but it's not immersive to you. We're going to talk about things that you can do to make your home theater more immersive, and we're going to get right into it. The first thing, and maybe the obvious thing, is just to get big speakers. Buy big speakers. When you have little cubes or satellite speakers, you can only get so much sound out of them, especially if you're in a bigger room. But typically, the bigger the speaker, the more sound pressure it can create. And that's just it. You get more immersion that way, being able to crank up the volume. Of course, with big speakers comes big power, so you're going to need an amplifier that can handle it. A lot of our modern receivers can handle all the power that most of these speakers ask for, but when you get into bigger speakers or speakers that have a lot of individual drivers, you're going to need pretty robust amplifiers that can handle the power. So keep in mind, if you do have big speakers, you're probably going to need some sort of amplification, but having big speakers allows you to fill the room with just tons of sound. And that's what I like. Big speakers, tower speakers, big center channel, that's my thing. So maybe that'll work for you if you have satellites or small bookshelves. Usually upgrading to towers or something a little bit bigger than what you have may suffice. Another key way to make sure that you're getting the most immersion in your home theater is to make sure that you're not too close to your speakers. I see a lot of home theaters where your surround sound speakers are way too close to you, or your speakers are way too close to each other. And the issue that you have with either or is that you don't get this big bubble, this big sphere of sound all the way around you because things are intelligible. It's hard to tell which speaker is what, especially when it comes to surround sound. I can't tell you how many times when I see an Atmos speaker here and then a rear speaker here and they're like 2 or 3 feet apart, you're not really going to be able to tell what's coming from above you and what's coming from, floor level. Or your surround sounds are too close, so it's obvious, yeah, that came from right here, or it came from... You want it to be kind of in its own space, hovering around you. And if speakers are too close to you, or too close to each other, you're gonna have way too much of a hard time distincting sounds as they move around. Or if they're too close to each other, you're gonna have trouble distincting where sounds, what speakers is trying to give you that information. So make sure your speakers aren't too close to you or each other. Spread them out at least, 6 feet apart from each other, speaker to speaker, and keep them a couple feet away from you so that you create this big sphere around you and above you if you're doing Atmos to give you this huge sense of space, this huge wall of sound. Usually the further you spread your speakers out, the more immersion you're going to have or the more space you can fill. But don't go overboard and kick it too far wide because now you're going to add too much gap between speakers. It can be complicated, but in the gist, make sure that your speakers aren't too close to you or too close to each other. Now, it isn't all about sound when it comes to immersion. Having good audio is part of the equation, obviously, but having good visual is too. So personally, get the biggest TV that you can afford, but get the biggest TV that makes sense for your room. So we all have home theaters nowadays, and we all have TVs or projectors. We want to fill that viewing space with as big of a TV as possible because the bigger the TV, the more immersion you get visually. One thing that I hate for some home theaters is that when you have a big sound and a small TV, it just kind of breaks the immersion, and vice versa. Beautiful TV, spent $3 grand, 86-inch, whatever, but then you don't have a very good sound to go with it. If you can give as good of a picture quality as you can sound, if you can get both of those correct, you can really give yourself a huge immersive home theater. So make sure when you're going out for your television, go as big as you can within your budget, but make sure that it fits your room and your viewing distance. If not, you're going to have some eye strain, you're going to have some neck strain, or you're going to be squinting trying to see. Make sure that you pick the TV that fits your room within your budget. It'll help you with a lot of immersion. Now this kind of piggybacks on what we just talked about, but fixing your seating distance will also help you with immersion. Seating is very important in home theater and it's very much overlooked. If you have a pretty big room, you have a TV, let's say 55 inches, and you're way, way back, right? Well, we need to be closer. The closer to your TV you are or your projector screen, the more real estate the screen will take in your field of view. So if you're too far wide, you're going to see a lot of sidewall, a lot of ceiling. You're going to see the wall behind the TV or whatever's hanging there. But if you get closer to your television, you'll start to take up more of your field of view so that most of your view is filled with TV, filled with visuals. Again, you can get the biggest TV you want, but if you're too far away from it, it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. Vice versa, if you get a really big TV and you're too close, well, now you're watching TV like this, watching things go back and forth because you're too close. So just like we talked about getting the right TV for your room, we also have to make sure that we're sitting the correct distance away. There is a rule of thumb for this. I can't remember exactly what the rule of thumb is as far as how far to sit from your TV versus how big your TV is, but there is a little rule of thumb. You guys can do a quick Google search. It'll tell you what distance to sit away from your seat or away from your TV depending on your TV size. A good place to figure this out is Audio Advice. They have their own home theater tool where you can calculate where things should be placed, what size TV fits your room, so on and so forth. If you go to Audio Advice and use their tool, you can put in the screen size you have and it'll show you how far you should sit away from that screen. Excellent tool, and it'll help you get the perfect immersion without hurting your eyes or your neck. So obviously a good way to get more immersion in your home theater is just to add home theater elements like a popcorn machine, snack bar, home theater seating, home theater decor, different lighting. This is a good way to give your room a home theater feeling. Unless you're in a living room or something like that and you don't really want to make it a dedicated space, completely understandable. But if you're going for that movie theater feel, there's no better way than to have movie posters up or the smell of popcorn from the popcorn machine or a snack bar that you can grab a snack from when you go with you and your kids and watch a movie. It's a great way to really give that room a true purpose, not just a family room or a multi-purpose room. This is my home theater room. This is what I want it for. You can really add to that with movie posters. You can get acoustic panels that are movie frames. You can get, like I said, snack bar, home theater seating, home theater blankets, home theater wall art, things like that. You can get that on Amazon or a lot of other places, Facebook Marketplace, whatever. So to really add some immersion to the room, just add decor to it. That'll definitely help. There's tons of tips that we can talk about. I'm going to leave this last one for you guys because this really changed my room for me personally, and that's painting the room to add more immersion. We always talk about adding acoustic treatment, adding, lighting treatment, whether that's blinds or recessed lights that you can dim, things like that. But not a lot of people talk about the what's the word that I want to use? What paint can really do for your room. It really adds to the home theater. For example, when I moved into my house here, I had really light blue, almost white walls. They had a hint of blue in them, and it was nice. It kept the room light and open and airy, but it was really reflective, and it kept it too bright. And when I painted it, I decided to paint it not black, but a very dark color, and that was perfect for me because I chose a matte color so the picture didn't reflect on the walls as much. It made my speakers pop because my speakers are white versus a really dark gray wall, almost black looking. I painted my ceiling as well. And so when I'm sitting in the room watching something, it's truly dark. And even in a sunny day, because everything around me is so dark, it looks darker on the inside. It really helped me be able to see my screen as well because light wasn't, shining back into the projector screen for me. So I really like painting my room and the ceiling. I can't tell you how much better a painted room is with a painted ceiling to match. And I painted the doors because they were white, all that good stuff. So that is an excellent way to add more immersion. If you already got the sound taken care of and you got the perfect TV already in the wall or projector screen going, great. Paint your room. It takes it to a whole new level. It just adds some new character, and it really says this is the room that I love to be in. This is my dedicated home theater. I want it to be that. And painting it is a good way to do that. So I want you guys down below to leave me in the comment section other ways that you guys have made your home theater more immersive. Let me know it in the comment section down below. I promise you a lot of people read these comments, so it's super helpful. I read the comments as well. I appreciate a lot of the feedback. So leave me a comment down below. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already. And we will see you in the next video. Kpaceguy out. Peace.